Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe Bolo Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe Bolo Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 O Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe Bhajo Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe Radhe Gopal Radhe O Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe Radhe Gopal Radhe O Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe Radhe Gopal Radhe O Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe O Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe Bolo Radhe Radhe राधे भजो राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे ओ राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे भजो राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे भजो राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे ओ गोविंद राधे गोपाल राधे ओ गोविंद राधे गोपाल राधे ओ गोविंद राधे गोपाल राधे भजो राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे भजो राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे ओ राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे भज राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे भजो राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे भजो राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे भजो राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे श्री राधे कृष्ण भगवान की
Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Ram. Ram Ram. Hare Hare.
So Savita Mataji is going to sing Chaurashtikam. I am not very familiar with this, but I have shared on Sadhu Sangha. You can open it and follow it. But more Savita Mataji said.
Yeah, Chaurashtikam we sing in that month from 17 July to 15 June, and it is the Purushottam Mass. We call that Adhik Mass also. That Mass is very auspicious, and we sing that song to express the devotion to the Lord Krishna. That we are deep loving and surrender to the Lord Krishna, who steal the devotee's heart and material attachment and the worldly ego. So that Mass is more important because if everybody does so many things that month, it will be multiply. So we get more and more spiritual benefits. So it is in the Sanskrit. So if I do some. Hare Krishna. So we will get the energy from the Krishna to sing that Chaurashtikam. Hare Krishna. Braje prasidam navnita choram gopangananam chadukula choram prasidam navnita dukula choram अनेक जन्माजे पाप पचोरम चो चौराग्रगण्याम पुरुषां नमामि नाम पुरुषां नमामि श्रीराधिकाया हृदयस्य चौरं नवम बुद्ध्याशमल्कान्ति चौरं श्रीराधिकाया हृदयस्य चौरं नवम बुद्ध्याशमल्कान्ति चौरं पदशितानां च समस्तचौरं चौराग्रगण्याम पुरुषां नमामि अकञ्चितां कृतपदाश्रितां या करोति भिक्षुं पथिगेहहीनम् पदाश्रितां या करोति भिक्षुं हीनम् केन व्याप्यो भीष्णचोरहीदृक् दृष्टो श्रुतो वा न जगत्रयापि दृष्टो श्रुतो वा न जगत्रयापि यद्हीनमापि हृदयस्य शेषं गिरिप्रसानापि पापानराशिम् आश्चर्यरूपानानूनचौरां चौरहिगं दृग आश्चर्यरूपानानूनचौरां चौरहिगं दृष्टो श्रुतो वा न माया कदापि दृष्टो श्रुतो वा न माया कदापि दृष्टो श्रुतो वा न माया कदापि धनं च मानं च तत्सेन्द्रियाणि धनं च मानं च तत्सेन्द्रियाणि प्राणक्ष हेत्वाय मम सर्वमेव मम सर्वमेव पलायसे कुत्र धृतो च त्वं भक्तिदां नासि माया निरुद्ध त्वं भक्तिदां नासि माया निरुद्ध छिन्नसि घोरं मयं पाशबन्धं भिन्नसि भीमं भवपाशबन्धम् छिन्नसि सर्वस्य समस्तबन्धं नैवात्मनो भक्तकृतं तु बन्धं छिन्नसि सर्वस्य समस्तबन्धं नैवात्मनो भक्तकृतं तु बन्धं मनमानसे तं साराशि घोरे कारागृह दुःखमाया निबन्धम् साराशि घोरे कारागृह दुःखमाया निबन्धम् लभस्व हि चोर हरे चिराय सहस चोर्यय दोषोचितमेव दण्डम् हे चोर हरे चिराय सब चोरये दोषचित्तमेव दण्डम् कारागृहे वास सदा हृदयमदि मद्भक्ति पाश दृढबन्धन निश्चम् गृहे वास सदा हृदयमदि मद्भक्ति पाश त्वं कृष्ण है त्वं कृष्ण है प्रलकोटि संतति सर्वस्व चौरम हृदय मोचामि सर्वस्व चौरम हृदय मोचामि हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe Radha Raman Hari Govinda Radhe Radha Raman Hari Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe Radha Raman Hari Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe Jaya Sachinandan Gaura Hari Jaya Sachinandan Gaura Hari Gaura 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 Hari Jaya Sachinandan Gaura Hari Gaura 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 Hari Gaura 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 Hari Jaya Nityanandam Gaura Hari Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe Radha Raman Hari Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol
Okay, we are going to sing Jai Radha Madhava. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girdharadhari 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 Yashodanandana Janarandana Yashodanandana Janarandana Yashodanandana Janarandana Yashodanandana Janarandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Before we begin, Prabhu, a big Haribol to Diptiman Prabhu. Haribol!
So we are reading verse 8 from chapter 10. Aham savarsa prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitah. Translation: I am the source of all spiritual 10:8. I am the source of all spiritual and material words. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this uh, engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So this is नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णापष्टाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिने नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So this chapter 10 verse 8 is part of what is known as Chatushloki Gita. So if we have to capture the whole message of Bhagavad Gita, then 10:8, 10:9, 10:10 and 10:11. These are the four verses which really capture the entire essence of Bhagavad Gita. And as we have already read the translation, so we are quite familiar with what it means. Krishna is telling to Arjuna that he is the source of all spiritual and material world. Aham sarvasva prabhavo. So whatever that exists in this material world and beyond, in the transcendental world, the source behind of it all is Krishna himself, and that everything emanates from me. Mattah sarvam pravartate, which is in a way similar. So all the energy of all creation comes from Krishna, and it is explained, how this material world is created, how Krishna creates all the elements of this material world, and how Krishna expands to different universes, and that Krishna is present as Paramatma, as the super soul in everything that exists in this material world and also beyond, also in the transcendental world. And Krishna is revealing this to his greatest devotee, who is Arjuna and friend. And Krishna says earlier also that, so previous chapter of Bhagavad Gita, so this chapter of Bhagavad Gita is known as the opulence of the Absolute, where Krishna is discussing or telling all his vibhutis, all his opulences. Opulences means how great he is. But Krishna also says later that whatever I am telling you is only actually a very finite part of what he is actually saying, because he is infinite. So with these few verses, it is difficult to capture the magnanimity of Krishna, how big, how huge, how infinite he is, how complete he is. But still he's telling all this to his great friend and his devotee Arjuna. And why he's doing that? Because he is a friend, and that he doesn't have any envy for Krishna. That is why Krishna is revealing that to him. So, for example, if we have we don't tell our how many cars we own, how many apartments, what is our salary, etc., to people who are strangers, or maybe who are envious to us. We will tell that only to somebody who really trust. And Krishna has given that trust to Krishna, and Krishna has given that trust to Arjuna, and Arjuna has given trust to Arjuna. Also, that he wants Arjuna to focus on him, as it will be clearer in the following verses, because we don't need to really roam around finding the truth when the source of all truth is all here. So we are seeking truth, like what is in this material world, what is in the spiritual world, how to act. Why not ask from the Creator himself? And that's why Krishna is revealing and establishing that he is the creator. So therefore, all the laws that exist in this material world and beyond, you should learn from me. And there's no need to speculate. There's no need really to engage in other forms of yoga. Just engage in bhakti yoga, as it will be clearer in the following verses. So I'll read some part of the purport. So the translation again, we should always, when we read Bhagavad Gita, so translation, for example, this verse is coming from Krishna and purport is coming from His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada is speaking to us and explaining each of those lines he wrote he dictated, and so we should try to always think when we are reading Prabhupada's purports that he is reading to us. It's also something we can always connect with Prabhupada when we are reading his purports. It says, a learned scholar who has studied the Vedas perfectly and has information from authorities like Lord Chaitanya and who knows how to apply these teachings can understand that Krishna is the origin of everything in both material and spiritual worlds. And because he knows this perfectly, he becomes firmly fixed in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. He can never be deviated from any amount of nonsensical commentaries or by the fools. All Vedic literature agree that Krishna is the source of Brahma, Shiva, and all other demigods. So it was Krishna who in the beginning instructed Brahma in Vedic knowledge and who disseminated Vedic knowledge in the past. So if we ask people, like who created this material world, especially from India, and they will often say Brahma. But the source behind Brahma is Krishna. So Brahma also works under Krishna. So he's not independent of Krishna. It's just a position given by Krishna, a responsibility to Brahma to create. But the source of all energy, the source of all matter comes from Krishna. So he's just, creating it under instructions of Krishna. So then Supreme Personality Narayan desired to create living entities. From Narayana, Brahma is born, and from Narayana, the patriarchs are also born. From Narayana, Indra is born, and from Narayana, the 8 Vasus are born. And from Narayana, the 11 Rudras are born, and from Narayana, the 12 Adityas are born. This Narayana is an expansion of Krishna. So in this verse, I didn't read the Sanskrit part, just read the translation by Prabhupada. That Narayana is expansion of Krishna, and from Narayana is created all these, Brahma and the patriarchs and the Rudras, and also the Adityas, which is the sun gods, right? They're all expansions or are created by Narayana, and Narayana is the expansion of Krishna. So it is said in the same Vedas, Brahmanyo Devaki Putra, the son of Devaki, Krishna is the Supreme Personality. So in the beginning of creation, there was only the Supreme Personality Narayana. There was no Brahma, no Shiva, no fire, no water, no moon, no stars in the sky, no sun. So the source, the very first source, the Adi, the beginning of everything is Krishna, is what Krishna explains, tells, and Prabhupada explains. So like that, Prabhupada is also explaining further on that Lord Krishna is the source of all generations, and he is called the most efficient cause of everything. He says, because everything is born of me, I am the original source of all. Everything is under me. No one is above me. There is no supreme controller other than Krishna. One who understands Krishna in such a way from a bona fide spiritual master with references from Vedic literature engages all his energy in Krishna consciousness and becomes a truly learned man. So, we have to seek truth from somebody who has actually realized truth. So this is truth, right? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and everything that exists emanates from Krishna. It's a fact, and it can be repeated in our ears many, many times, right? This is a fact we can read, but we have to learn this fact from somebody who has realized this fact, who has actually in his consciousness understands, not just understands, but he has totally absorbed this understanding in his consciousness. He has totally realized that Krishna is behind everything, that Krishna is the source of everything. So And from that person, we have to learn this truth. And that person is the spiritual master, right? So that spiritual master, the guru, is going to tell us, and then we can understand and the true meaning, the true realization of these verses. That Krishna is the supreme. In comparison to him, all others who do not know Krishna properly are but fools. Only a fool who would consider Krishna to be an ordinary man. A Krishna conscious person should not be bewildered by such fools. He should avoid all unauthorized commentaries and interpretation of Bhagavad Gita and proceed in Krishna consciousness with determination and firmness. Prabhupada expressed, if you read his commentary, he really emphasizes that we should read the commentary or explanations of different verses from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and other Vedic literatures from um, bona fide spiritual master. A bona fide spiritual master is somebody who comes from authorized lineage or bona fide lineages. So that bona fide lineage is defined. It cannot be born that I am the guru and nobody knows whose guru is who's this
His former
his
guru.
former guru. Exactly. Thank you. So we should know the lineage. Who was your guru, who was your guru's guru, and guru's guru, and so on. So that lineage has to be there. That bona fide lineage has to be there. Otherwise, that knowledge is just on mental speculation platform. We hear so many spiritual masters, so called, coming from India and beyond, who give quite nonsensical commentaries of Bhagavad Gita. So it's also this Bhagavad Gita. If you're studying this Bhagavad Gita, I really would want, you should study, not just read it, but also do not skip the introduction that Prabhupada has written. It's beautiful. It's also beautiful because you will also in that introduction learn how to understand his purports. He goes uh, quite elaborate the different terminology that will come again and again, and you'll really learn Bhagavad Gita as it is intended, as it is. That's why Prabhupada says as it is, and he always says what is the essence of Bhagavad Gita? That Krishna is the supreme personality of God. That is the main message of Bhagavad Gita. That Krishna is supreme. There are different forms of yogas that Krishna has taught, but we should not take Krishna out of all that. So I've read in or heard in some lectures, often when there is a discourse on Bhagavad Gita by some, again, such so-called philosophers or scholars of Sanskrit who do not have a proper training in such lineages of devotees, they just take Krishna out of Bhagavad Gita. They will focus, okay, this is Sankhya, this is Karma Yoga, and maybe that is the main message. No, that is not the main message of Bhagavad Gita. The main message of Bhagavad Gita is that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and as we read in the following verses, that Krishna says that you should just dedicate or devote to me. Do not think of other paths which will lead to your perfection, which will not actually lead to perfection. It will only lead to confusion. So and those paths are quite difficult to follow. What is easy to follow is to practice practice Bhagavad Gita, Bhakti Yoga, as taught by Srila Prabhupada. So we'll go to the next verse. Machita mad gata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from enlightening one another and conversing about me. So in the previous verse, Krishna establishes who he is, that he is the source of all that exists. In the second verse, he's saying that he's describing his pure devotees, what his pure devotees do. And what he says is that the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Meaning, uh, my pure devotees always think of me. Prabhupada also what he said was always think of Krishna, never forget Krishna. Uh, it's very easy to give money to Krishna. Okay, we donate some money and put in the box. It's I mean it's an austerity. It's a good thing to do. It's really a good thing to do some such austerities to give some of the money that you earn to Krishna. We may be even willing to work for Krishna. Okay, we may be doing different sevas, which is all very good. But what is the biggest sacrifice? Is giving our thoughts to Krishna. That is actually quite big. So where I heard in a lecture again. So we have a physical body and we have subtle body. So physical body is what we see, right? You can feel touch, and the different. And what is the subtle body is our mind, is our senses, is our intelligence and false ego, right? So it is much difficult to give the subtle body to Krishna, the thought process, the mind, the senses, the false ego, or getting rid of it. That is more difficult to do. So how to be how to be in constant remembrance of Krishna. So and that is the characteristics of his pure devotees. So the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. Tushyanti means to become pleased. Ramanti also transcendental bliss. So that's where they get the pleasure um, by talking about Krishna and his glories. So purport again, I'll read from Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Pure devotees whose characteristics are mentioned here all engage themselves fully in transcendental loving service of the Lord. Their minds cannot be diverted from the lotus feet of Krishna. Their talks are solely on the transcendental subjects. The symptoms of the pure devotees are described in this verse specifically. Devotees of the Supreme Lord are 24 hours daily engaged in glorifying the qualities and pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Their hearts and their souls are constantly submerged in Krishna, and they take pleasure in discussing Him with other devotees. So when we meet, when there is a sadhu sangha is when sadhus meet and then they discuss Krishna and Krishna Katha, right? What Krishna did in Vrindavan, what he did in Dwaraka, what he did in Mathura, yeah, what he did when he came as Lord Ramachandra, what he did when he came as Lord Nrsimha, what he did as Nrsimhadev. So there are so many pastimes which are written down. At least those we can say. His pastimes are unlimited, by the way. So we can at least take the benefit of the pastimes that are written down and accessible to us. Of course, Krishna reveals many more pastimes when we are totally engaged in maybe even those which are not written down. And his pastimes are actually enacting all the time. Really, we see that when we serve Krishna, then we see all the mystic happenings that happen. Again, I mean, every day you go to Jagannath Puri and talk to devotees there. How did he reciprocate with the devotees? So there are some stories which happened in the past, and there are stories that are revealed that are happening every single day there. Yeah. So he's reciprocating with devotees all the time. So in the preliminary stage of devotional service, they relish the transcendental pleasure from the service itself. And in the mature stage, they are actually situated in the love of God. Once situated in that transcendental position, they can relish the highest perfection which is exhibited by the Lord in His abode. So, Prabhupada always, it's actually quite difficult to translate Sanskrit to English. There are no equivalent words to just okay, this is the synonym. What is a synonym for dharma? This is it. What is a synonym for even devata? It's not very easy. What is a synonym for bhakti? And Prabhupada described bhakti as loving devotional service to Krishna. So it is a service which is done for Krishna out of love. So when we talk about love, then we had Govinda Prabhu. He was explaining in his different lectures. I don't know which one was it. Was it on Friday that he was trying to explain that all we seek is love, and the love that we get on this material planet is quite transactional. Uh, it is love. Okay, I love you as long as you're beautiful. I love you as long as you're rich. I love you as long as you're quiet, etc., etc. But this love, the transcendental love and the perfection of love that Prabhupada is explaining to us, is the one that we want to give and take from Krishna, and that is possible only in the spiritual world. But at the same time, uh, we can be transcendentally situated also in this world. So that's what Prabhupada says, is that in the beginning we do service to Krishna. uh, Senior devotees tell us to cook for Krishna, to chant Krishna's names. In the beginning, there may not be any love for the names of Krishna, but when we do this service as taught by our seniors sincerely, then gradually the love for Krishna appears, right? And and that's what actually we are also seeking. We are just searching at wrong places, or in a wrong manner, really. So and when we have love for Krishna, then we have love for everybody. um, I mean, the pure Vaishnavas are so compassionate. They're so they are they love Krishna, but they also are in love with everybody else that Krishna has created. So their compassion is beyond the material transactions that we have normally, what we call as love. Again, when we say prema, is love the right translation for prema? It's not really. It is often translated, but prema, like when we especially say that that a devotee has reached the stage of prema, then that love is not transactional, and that love doesn't depend on time, place, and circumstances. No, it doesn't. It is beyond that. So should we always also explain what prema is? It is prema is love, yes, but it is also all of that. So that's why yeah. So Krishna, Prabhupada explains, here initially it's service, and slowly then love is generated. So service also is some kind of austerity. Sometimes we do that as austerity, right? As tapasya, as a punishment to engage. Okay, get up in the morning and chant Krishna's names, because somebody has told us to. But in the beginning, it may look like it is that, but slowly we get affection, the love and compassion for that seva, right? So that is that, and Prabhupada also says later, there are innumerable living entities traveling through the different planets of the universe, and out of them, there are few who are fortunate enough to meet a pure devotee and get chance to understand devotional service. This devotional service is just like a seed, and if it is sown in the hearts of living entity, and if he goes on hearing and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, that seed fructifies just as the seed of a tree fructifies with regular watering. So it is by extreme fortune that we meet pure devotees. Uh, it is explained that we don't meet saintly people without the blessing of Krishna. Krishna sends his devotees, and then they tell us to chant Krishna's names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And when we chant Krishna's name, then a seed is sown in our heart, and that seed will fructify. That seed will grow, and then it transforms to what Prabhupada says, the spiritual plant of devotional service gradually grows and grows until it penetrates the covering of the material universe and enters into Brahma Jyoti effulgence in the spiritual sky. In the spiritual sky, also that plant grows more and more until it reaches the highest planet, which is called Goloka Vrindavan, the supreme planet of Krishna. Ultimately, the planet takes shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna and rest there. The plant, sorry. Um, Gradually, as plant grows, fruits and flowers, that plant of devotional service also produces fruits, and the watering process in the form of chanting and hearing goes on. This plant of devotional service is fully described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 19. It is explained there that when the complete plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, one becomes fully absorbed in the love of God, and then he cannot live even for a moment without being in contact with the devotee, with the Supreme Lord, just as fish cannot live without water. In such a state, the devotee actually attains the transcendental qualities in contact with the Supreme Lord. So, in the previous time I spoke about the qualities or the transcendental qualities or qualities of somebody who is transcendently situated or in a liberated state of mind or a liberated state of consciousness, right? Um, and those qualities are quite nice to have. You know, somebody is or Krishna explains in chapter 2 the concept of sthit pragya. Sthit is means steady, pragya is intelligence. So somebody whose intelligence is steady in the loving devotional service of Krishna, right? um, so such devotees who have really worked on the seed to become a plant, and the plant is constantly nourished with loving devotional service of Krishna, then their consciousness is such that they get more and more away from the material and less and more and more attached instead with Krishna. So they cannot be away from Krishna, just as fish cannot be away from water. So that's where we need to go. The Srimad Bhagavatam is also full of such narrations about relationship between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Therefore, the Srimad Bhagavatam is very dear to the devotees, as stated in Bhagavatam itself. Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavam Priyam. In this narration, there is nothing about material activities, economic development, sense gratification, or liberation. Srimad Bhagavatam is the only narration in which the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord and his devotee is fully described. So, Prabhupada is also glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam, and that it is very dear to the devotees. So, and indeed, if we read Bhagavatam from which has the commentaries from Srila Prabhupada, we really appreciate how beautiful that is. It is just a beautiful experience to spend time with Bhagavatam. Reading Bhagavatam is a very ecstatic activities that devotees engage in. Why? Because they derive great satisfaction and bliss from enlightening one another. So we have to read Krishna Katha. We have to read how Krishna interacts with different devotees. How different devotees actually interact with Krishna. How they do not seek anything material from Krishna. They only seek more transcendental service. The more service for Krishna. and that they are never, they are always thinking of Krishna all the time. So again, again, when Krishna comes as Lord Ramachandra, and we know the pastime of when Hanuman goes to meet Sita. So find Sita and meet Sita. Then Sita gives Lord Hanuman different benedictions. And she gives them, different benediction. And apart from that, what she also gives to him is the constant service and love for Krishna, for Lord Ramachandra, right? So that is the biggest boon that he got. That is the most important benediction that he got. And the other benediction also he got because she was so happy. She was in such dire strait. She was in Lanka. She was surrounded by all the demons, and she was away from Lord Ramachandra. She was really lamenting for Lord Sri Ramachandra. And then comes Lord Hanuman, and he's narrating Ram Katha to her. He's singing all the glories of Sri Ramachandra to Mother Sita. I don't know if we engage in a little, we get little taste in devotional service, just a little taste, and we start doing it, and then we go to the mundane world, say for a week, 2, 3, 4. Then we really miss that. We really miss Krishna Katha. We really miss the Kirtan. We really miss the Prasad. And when we get it back, then we really are so happy. Where was I? Why was it? Was I? Why was it? Was I indulging in such nonsensical things? But sometimes those mundane or those even demoniac associations are forced upon us, like Sita was. And when Sita was, she even said that I'm going to end my life, right? She said, I cannot spend a moment without Lord Ramachandra, and I want to just give my life away, because she was seeking associate. She wanted Lord Ramachandra, and when she meets the devotees, pure devotee of Lord Ramachandra in the form of Hanuman, who she had never met before, by the way, right? How he introduces himself is by just narrating Ramakatha. How beautiful, how transcendental body his bodily features, and his Ramcharita, right? The different characteristics of Lord Ramachandra, and he goes on, singing nicely, and devotees connect with other devotees, telling pure love for Krishna. They cannot fake it. They just cannot fake it. So when Ramakatha was told by Mother Sita, she was totally ecstatic. She accepts him as her own son, and then also she gives him different benedictions. Apart from that, also what she gives is that Hanuman is always engaged in Lord Ramachandra's service. He's also given, by the way, a boon that he has eternal life, so he's still around, by the way. So whenever we are doing Ramakatha, and Hanuman is not far away, it's also sad. So so why we said that is the devotees, what they seek is not economic development, not any self gratification. What they really want is only constant service of Krishna. And which book or which scripture which captures only this is Srimad Bhagavatam. And that's why also it is called as Amal. Mala means filthy things, literally translate to unmentionable. But Amal is the opposite of it. So it is not diluted by anything which is not related to bhakti. It is not saying that you do this and then you get this. You do this kind of austerity and you go to heavenly planets. It doesn't say that. I mean, maybe, but the message is to go beyond that. If you engage in, and also different, how Queen Kunti, how Bhishma Pitama, how different devotees they interact with Krishna and his different incarnations. So it's really ecstatic, and Prabhupada has really explained it well, especially when you start from first canto. I'm yet to read all of it, but when we when we start reading his purports, he makes it a point to just get across, and make really understand what is really intended. But it's not easy to understand without somebody who has actually understood and realized. So the next verse is in this Chatur Shloki. So we have done two verses, 10:8 and 10:9, and the next one is 10:10. Tesham satada yuktanam bhajatam bhakti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamu piyanta yena mamu piyantite. So translation is, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. This chapter of Bhagavad Gita is known as the most confidential knowledge. This chapter also is especially this verse is quite confidential. That Krishna is imparting to Arjuna. Why it is confidential is, in the first verse he says, 10:8 that we discussed, that he is the source of everything. The second verse he is describing the characteristics of his pure devotees, that they take great pleasure in discussing about his pastimes. And in this verse, Krishna is telling how he personally reciprocates with his devotees, how he gives it back. How he gives it back is that it says, dadami, I give. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. He doesn't say they get or what devotees get out of devotional service. That is not what he's saying. What he's trying to say is that what he gives personally, what he hands over personally to his devotees, is the understanding by which they can come to me. So he guides us. So when we engage in Krishna Katha, when we engage in Bhakti Yoga, then what we seek, what we are actually seeking is, okay, we are engaging in Bhakti Yoga, right? And why we are doing that? We know that this material world is not the place to be. There is a world beyond this, which is where we should go to, which will be the perfection of the human mind, human life. What is interesting about the human life or human body is that we have intelligence, right? The intelligence is that we see so much suffering everywhere. All pleasures that we get is only temporary. So where to get this? How to get out of this? How to get beyond this? Material miseries. And we also know from intelligence is that we have this, the rule of karma. That what we do, we have to suffer out of or our benefit of what good or bad deeds we do. But then it has to repeat. But when we engage in Krishna consciousness, in Bhakti Yoga, Krishna is promising that he himself is going to give us the intelligence how to reach him. It's not easy. He himself is not is going to tell what is how to reach him and how not to reach him. Right? He can come as a form of spiritual master and tell us what not to do. Not engage in prajalpa, not engage in the four regulative principle, if we are not engaging in them, or we are doing devotee, we are blaspheming devotees. There's so many don'ts which take us away from Krishna, right? So Krishna will tell us himself, or like he said earlier discussed, that a devotee will be sent by Krishna who will warn us from activities which are not useful to reach him. So that is the promise of Krishna. So in this verse, the word Buddhi Yogam is very significant. We may remember that in the second chapter of the Lord, the Lord instructing Arjuna said that he has spoken to him of many. That he had spoken to him of many things, that he would instruct him in the way of Buddhi Yoga. Now, Buddhi Yoga is explained. Buddhi Yoga in itself is action in Krishna consciousness. That is the highest intelligence. Buddhi means intelligence, and Yoga means mystic activities or mystic elevation. When one tries to go back home, mystic activities or mystic elevation, when one tries to go back home, back to Godhead, and takes fully to Krishna consciousness in devotional service, his action is called Buddhi Yoga. In other words, Buddhi Yoga is the process by which one gets out of the entanglement of this material world. The ultimate goal of progress is Krishna. People do not know this. Therefore, the association of devotees and a bona fide spiritual master are important. One should know that the goal is Krishna. And when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively traversed. And the ultimate goal is achieved. When a person knows the goal of life but is addicted to the fruits of activities, he is acting in karma yoga. When he knows that goal is Krishna, but he takes pleasure in mental speculation to understand Krishna, he is acting Jnana Yoga. And when he knows the goal seeks Krishna completely in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, he is acting in Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, which is the complete yoga. This complete yoga is the highest perfectional stage of life. So we repeat this quite a bit, or we don't, because that is what is advocated also in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna starts in Bhagavad Gita from chapter 2 at Jnana platform. He's teaching Jnana Yoga, Samkhya Yoga. He goes on to explain. So that is basically using our mind or to ourselves deduct what is the truth, how to not engage in matter, what is matter, what is transcendental, what is not matter, no neti. So it is a process of eliminating. So is this person material or transcendental? Okay, the body is not, so you can decide that body is not, right? Like that. But and then we try to do this like mental speculation to find what is the truth, and then that would be like Samkhya Yoga, and then there's Karma Yoga, and then but what Prabhupada is explaining is, and he's not in this case differentiating between Buddhi Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, is the highest form, because when we engage in Bhakti Yoga, then it is culmination of yoga, all forms of yoga. It is the highest form of yoga. So when we engage in Bhakti Yoga, then the benefits of all other yoga are achieved. Right? So, and why that is? Because Krishna himself is telling, that is my promise. I will give you the understanding. Because when we are worshipping Krishna as a supreme person, when we are engaging in Krishna and serving as devotees, and it is a personal promise of Krishna that he is going to guide us. He is going to show us the way, like that. So then That is the personal promise of Krishna, that to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. And the last verse in this Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita um, is the 11th verse. To show them special mercy, I dwelling in their heart, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born out of ignorance. Again, this is the personal promise that Krishna is going to eliminate all the doubts, all the entanglements, um, all the other desires that we have that are leading us to an ignorant situation. Um, so when we see the purport, when Lord Chaitanya was born in Benares, from promulgating the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thousands of people are following him. And then Prakash Nanda Saraswati, a very influential and learned scholar in Benares at the time, derided Lord Chaitanya for being a sentimentalist. Sometimes Mayavadi philosophers criticize the devotees because they think that most of the devotees are in the darkness of ignorance and are philosophically naive sentimentalists. Actually, that is the fact. That are that they are very learned scholars who have put forward the philosophy of devotion. But even if a devotee does not take advantage of the literature or of his spiritual master, does not take advantage okay, but even if a devotee does not take advantage of this literature or of his spiritual master, if he is sincere in devotional service, he is held by Krishna himself within his heart. So the sincere devotee engaged in Krishna consciousness cannot be without knowledge. The only qualification is that one carry out devotional service in full Krishna consciousness. So the point is here is that, again, we have touched upon this, is that um, the knowledge in Bhagavad Gita cannot be taught by mere Sanskrit scholars. And it has to come from spiritual masters and from bona fide spiritual masters, but also what Krishna also says in previous verse and in here is that the knowledge will be revealed to us when we engage in bhakti, when we engage in Krishna's holy names. Krishna's holy names are non-different from Krishna. So it is explained, when you see Krishna's form, when we really see Krishna's form, or when, say, Lord Ramachandra was going into the villages and meeting the different villagers, immediately all their ignorance was gone. They saw the beauty, the form of Lord Ramachandra. All their beauty all their ignorance is gone. They don't need anything else. All they seek is only Krishna, only Lord Ramachandra. The same potency Lord Ramachandra has given in his holy names. So when we engage in chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, we get the same benediction. We get the same benefit. That slowly and slowly our consciousness gets cleansed of different material attachment, and Krishna reveals the truth, the right path how to reach him. So that is the promise of Krishna, and it is not just sentimental. And actually, all knowledge, we may not be well versed with different Sanskrit verses, but the real knowledge is the knowledge in action, right? What is knowledge is action? Is that we act out of love for Krishna, and that love radiates to every other living being. That is the um, real purpose of any knowledge. So even if we are not well versed with all the verses in Sanskrit, because all of that also can give us just a little bit of kick or a little bit of pride or arrogance that I know so many verses. But what is the purpose of that verse? The purpose of those verses is to actually engage in Krishna service and service of his devotees. So so that is why when we engage in bhakti, we also get jnana. Jnana is not being attached to matter and being totally attached to Krishna. That is the realized knowledge. That is Vijnana. That is the knowledge which is realized knowledge, and that knowledge we will get when we engage in bhakti. It is always good to read scriptures, and that is also what is told by Prabhupada in the previous verse. But the purpose of those scriptures is also seva, is also engaging in Krishna's service, and then with that the ignorance will be gone. We will engage in Krishna. We will engage in service of Krishna's devotees, and out of love, we'll serve Krishna. We'll out of love chant his names, and that is going to be the perfection. So this is the main idea, the main essence of Bhagavad Gita. And I will summarize once again the 4 verses that in chapter 10, in verse 8, Krishna is declaring to Arjuna that he is the source of all his spiritual and material worlds. And then he is describing and glorifying his pure devotees, that his pure devotees always think of him. They always engage in Krishna Katha. They always talk with each other about Krishna Katha. And with that, they get great pleasure. The source of pleasure for devotees is only Krishna Katha, not anything else. Right? And then to such devotees, what Krishna is promising is that he himself is going to show them the way. He himself is going to give them the buddhi, the knowledge, the intelligence, rather, as to how we can go to him. And that in the following verse he is saying, to show them special mercy, I dwelling in their heart destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born out of ignorance. So yeah, so this is what I wanted to say, and afterwards Arjuna also starts glorifying Lord Krishna and his understanding, and he accepts Krishna teachings, and he repeats and glorifies the different. And so this is like I said, chapter 10 is the opulences, where Krishna's different opulences or vibhutis are discussed, and these courses are really the true essence of Bhagavad Gita. I also have to, I thought I'll say this, it's just a small realization, and we have been talking about how we do bhakti yoga, and the first thing devotees tell you is to chant Krishna's names, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We do it on a bead, which has, or a rosary, which has like 108 pearls, and we do that preferably early in the morning. And Prabhupada has said that we should do it at least 16 times, 16 rounds. So it is, how much is it, like 16,000? No, 1600 and 144. What, 164 times, sorry. That is the amount of times we should do early in the morning, right? When we do that early in the morning, then you'll experience this, and I have done. I must confess, I'm not able to do it all the time early in the morning, but that is the best time to do it. And with that, you are constantly in all day goes in. You're not far away from Krishna. Yeah. The only thing I wanted to say, and that this is again big austerity, right? To wake up early in the morning at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock and chant your rounds and then go to work or cook and whatnot, right? It sounds like a great austerity. The only thing I really wanted to say was that it should not be an austerity. Um, and it's a practical way to feel it, not to be austere, to wake up in the morning. The only austerity you have to do really is to be austere in the night before. You understand what I'm trying to say is that if you plan our day in such a way that we can sleep on time, right? If we can sleep on time, um, then it's not really an austerity to wake up early in the morning. So what the austerity really is to engage in positive things in the evening, take an early nap, go to bed, and wake up at 2 a.m. fresh. Has it happened to you? So, but it has happened. It has happened, and it happens to a lot of devotees actually. You can wake up at 2, 3 a.m. with full quota of sleep and fully energetic. If you sleep on time, that's it. And also, it is explained, actually, it is not just explained, I've realized this, that each hour of sleep is worth more if you do it early in the evening, in the night rather. So if you sleep from 8 to 9, is will give you much more satisfaction or completeness in your sleep, which if you do from 1 to 2 a.m. really. So just try that. It's not that difficult. It may be austere for some few days when you're when you didn't have your quota of sleep, but if you fight those initial obstacles and then if you can go to bed on time, then you can wake up on time early. On time is early. So early means at least 5, if not earlier. So then try to do your japa. Then you try to do your arati. You try to read something in the morning, which I should also do. I'm also preaching to myself here. But that is usually the routine of all temples. That we have morning arati at 4:30 a.m. and our spiritual master, he was telling that the best rounds are done before Mangalarati. So there are devotees who will finish their 16 rounds before 4:30. But it is, like I said, not an austerity if you sleep on time. Of course, what also, I mean, Prabhupada barely slept like 4 hours. I mean, we have, our Namacharya Haridas Thakur, who barely slept like 1 to 2 hours a day. He was chanting all the time. That kind of spiritual perfection we can get, that kind of, again, this message that I'm trying to say is also practical for those of us who are really at bodily platform right now. Health is really important. And Prabhupada always stressed on that. If we cut the quota of our sleep, we can do that for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then it will start deteriorating or impacting our health. I mean, if somebody says that my chanting is not influenced by when I'm sick, if somebody is at that platform, he doesn't need to listen to what I'm saying. But for others who are still quite young in their spiritual life and they want to focus on their sadhana, they need to take care of their body also. And Prabhupada explicitly said that health is number one to some devotees. First, health. Because especially when we are at initial stage, and then he said, it doesn't matter to me because I'm an old man. Because he had some other letters that he wrote, because he was barely sleeping, but he was not at a platform where health or poor body really impacted his devotional life. But some of us who are quite young in our sadhana, it is good to have good regulative life, eat well, not too much, not too little, sleep well, not too much, not too little, sleep on time so that we can have time for our spiritual activities. It is quite a blissful feeling. So then it is really helpful. This is a practical tip I'll give. I mean, all our devotees tell this the same things. I'm just repeating. But of late, I've also realized some of these things. That if we sleep on time, Then we can wake up on time, no problem. It's not an Australian. Haribol.
Haribo.
Srila Prabhupada ki. Any questions? Haribol, this one.
How many different names on Krishna does exist beside Krishna, him and herself?
It's there are many scriptures. There are Vishnu Sahasranam. There are many Sahasranams, 1,000 names of Vishnu. I think I would say if you follow the bona fides, all bona fide. I don't have an answer to this question, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have an
It's
answer. to that.
pure facts.
Yeah. So we have some established sources of Krishna's names, which come also in Bhagavatam. Different names of I have not counted. Also in like in Bhagavad Gita, they come. I'm not again answering to your question. Sometimes Krishna is called as Achyuta. Sometimes Krishna is called as Rishikesha. So in different places, there are different names of Krishna. Sometimes he's called as Devaki Nandan. Sometimes as Madhav. Sometimes he's known as you know what else? Gopesha or what else? So many names. Govinda, of course. What else? What else shall we count? Say again? Pradyumna. Pradyumna is no, it's not. It's not. It's his son. Yeah. What? Madan Mohan, Gopinath. Yeah. Radha Madan. Countless names. Yeah. Yashodanandana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like just to get just a feeling of the number is like above 100 names or about
I would
1,000 or
It would be
100,000.
if Krishna's pastimes are time or you cannot count. Probably you cannot also count his names. So I will say this is my personal realize. I may be deviating from but we have some scriptures which also Krishna what he says is in this is in chapter 10 also that was whatever he's counting his opulences, they are only his opulences cannot be really captured in these verses. It's beyond that. So different pastimes give different names of Krishna. One name is like Ranachor, right? But Leela, so then he got this name where he is the person who flees the battlefield. So they have different pastimes give different names. So if the pastimes are innumerable, then the names.
Okay, so if the pastime is innumerable,
Yeah.
then it sounds like maybe his name or his or her name it's infinitely.
It's infinite, but at the same time, just must caution one thing, and this is something which some people speculate some names as Krishna's names, and that should not be done.
Some scholars, you said? No, who?
AI, ChatGPT.
What does ChatGPT
They
do?
speculate some names that means it's Krishna's names, but there is no evidence of those names.
Like the ChatGPT claims that there are other also false names that is Krishna.
But it is not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, but I totally get it. It's that's AI hypnosis.
Yeah, but also there's I'm deviating a little bit from the topic. The topic is this. Like in Norway, the names repeat. It's always often the name of your grandfather, and there is a generation, and then after that, after 100, 60 years, the same name will repeat. In India, especially, there's a lot of search for new names when it comes to naming their kids, and I have no idea why that is. Why can't you just name your kid Rama or Krishna? Why should it be some name which is so non-different and so alien that that is? Why can't somebody's name be Ram Prasad? Is the benediction of Lord Ramachandra? Why I can't name that my son that name? And some of that is to also do with how the Bollywood has played, how a funny character would be called by some traditional names. So then you get some kind of low self-esteem to traditional Indian names. That's why people always seek and that has never happened. If you go, I mean I'm not a scholar at this, but still, finding these new names is a very recent phenomenon. Before, say, 50, 60 years or 100 years, maybe 60, 70 years before Bollywood and all, people always had traditionally. What is wrong with naming my son Hanuman? It's such a beautiful name. Why can't I name somebody Hanuman? It is the most beautiful devotee of Lord Ramachandra. So I'm kind of, I'm not answering to your question, but I will
Oh,
just
you have given me great answers. I have the rest myself from within. Thank you. Yes, I got the message. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Anything else that somebody wants to say, Prabhu?
Well, as you explained, the essence of Bhagavad Gita is the Bhakti Yoga. But still, we have Karma Yoga and Dhyana Yoga, and how these yogas help us to grow in Bhakti Yoga. What is the importance of this in Bhakti Yoga?
Yeah. So Krishna explains that bhakti is so also in Bhagavatam Krishna or is stated that bhakti is easy to do, or it's also done by it's a very it gives a lot of pleasure to do bhakti. It's not very difficult to do. It's not very difficult form of yoga, and especially in this time when we have quite fragile bodies. When I say fragile bodies, both physically and also especially mentally, we are quite challenged. We are almost handicapped. If you talk about different other yugas, when we were born in Sati Yuga, we had much more stronger bodies. We had much more time to faculties to focus. Yes, Krishna. We had much more capability to do other forms of yoga, especially Dhyan yoga, for instance. But we are not really capable of doing that. It's not easy to do. Karma yoga is again when we do actions, and when we but the actions but the fruits we have to not attached to. Now, how the source of attachment is matter, and how we get attached with matter is by senses. Krishna explains this matters beyond you. The soul, the energy of material energy is so strong that out of your own yogic faculties, or by your own endeavor, you cannot defeat the different or different the desire and the different engagements that we are, or attachment that we have for this enormous energy of Krishna, which is also material energy, is also expansion of Krishna, right? So if the material energy is expansion of Krishna, how can we beat that material energy without 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 engaging with Krishna, without seeking His help? So if we cannot get entangled, or detached from matter without help from Krishna, how can we really perfect karma yoga? How can we do that? So yes, karma yoga is nice. We can try that. But Krishna says do bhakti. Then you get the benefits of karma yoga also. Because then when you're and Krishna also explains, in our acharyas explain is, bhakti is not negation, it is engagement. So we are given the senses, those senses are attached to matter. In bhakti, we actually not say that those senses don't exist or focus on shunya. No, we engage those senses on Krishna, and then those senses have somewhere to go. So it's quite practical also. So, and Krishna is saying also in this verse that He is going to give us. He is going to empower us. He is going to take the role of somebody who is going to make us detached from matter, which is basically ignorance. What Krishna says in the last verse, that Krishna is going to be the source of that light, right? So when we have that source of light within, and which is promised by Krishna, then we will be we will have we can do actions without sense gratification also, which is karma yoga, right? But if we cannot really truly engage in karma yoga without devotion, because devotion is going with devotion we get the promise of Krishna that we can fight matter, we can fight the senses, we can fight all the material propensities, all the attachments, and with them how can we have karma yoga? How can we act in karma yoga? Really, it's not easy. It's not easy. Yeah. Anything else? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. I don't have any question, but I just want to share.
Hare Bol.
Because I have heard the Sri Prabhupada lecture about karma yoga, yana yoga, dharma yoga, hatha yoga, and bhakti yoga. And Prabhupada he compared that in New York there's some Empire State Building with a 102 floor. And for the karma yoga, like you can go to the first or second floor. With the dhyana, you can go to, let's say, to the 18th floor. But with the bhakti yoga, you can go directly to the highest. Bhakti is the topmost stage. Yeah. And for example, for the karma, that means you detach from the material world. But with the bhakti, that means you give all attachment to Krishna. It's more practical. Not to detach everything is very difficult in this Kali yoga. So bhakti is more practical, easier, and the topmost.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Bol. Okay. Then should we move on? Okay. So now we'll do Arati. We'll stand up and we'll do Arati. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna.
जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe Govinda Jai Jai Gopal
परमहंस परिव्राजक विचारक भक्तिवेदांत प्रभुपाद की जय। विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक विचार भक्तिवेदांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय जय श्री राम श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। मायापुर धाम की नवदी धाम की रामपुरी धाम की गंगा माई की यमुना माई की तुलसी देवी की भक्ति देवी की। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga Shri Prabhupada ki. Yeah. Okay, we'll sing Narsimha Aarti and somebody who doesn't know the Aarti, then Kavita Mata is distributing the leaflets. Namaste Narasimhaya.
शिला प्रभुपाद की